all of which strengthens our democracy by creating good-paying union jobs that will translate to lives of opportunity and dignity for working people with better access to the tools and resources they need to thrive. And soon, I hope to sign into law a bill we call the Build Back Better plan, which will be an extraordinary investment in our people and our workers and give American families just a little more breathing room to deal with their problems and their opportunities. Our domestic agenda has been focused on delivering for the needs of the American people, strengthening our democratic institutions at home. My first day in office, I signed an executive order to advance racial justice and equality. And my administration recently released our first national strategy on gender equality and equity. We're fostering greater worker power because workers organizing a union to give them the voice of the workplace in their community and their country isn't just an act of economic solidarity. It's democracy in action. We're making it easy for Americans to register to vote. And we've doubled the number of attorneys defending and enforcing voting rights laws through our Department of Justice. And my administration is going to keep fighting to pass two critical pieces of legislation that will shore up the very foundation of American democracy, the sacred right of every person to make their voice heard through free, fair, and secure elections. We need to enact what we call the Freedom to Vote Act and the John Lewis Voting Right Advancement Act to prevent voting discrimination, provide baselines for accessing the ballot box, and ensure the will of the voters is upheld, and so much more. We should be making it easy for people to vote, not harder. And that's going to remain a priority for my administration until we get it done. Inaction is not an option. And as we continue to work at home to bring the United States closer to what we call a more perfect union, we're doubling down on our engagement with and support of democracies around the world. Earlier this week, I released the first U.S. government strategy on countering corruption, which elevates our fight against transnational corruption, a crime that drains public resources and hollows out the ability of governments to deliver for the people and just evaporates confidence that the people much need to have in their government. The strategy includes working with other partners, all of you around the world, to improve transparency, hold corrupt actors accountable, reduce their ability to use the United States international financial system to hide assets and to launder money. And today I'm proud to launch the Presidential Initiative for Democratic Renewal, which will focus efforts across our diplomacy and foreign assistance programs to bolster democratic resilience and human rights and globally. Working with our Congress, we're planning to commit as much as $224 million in the next year to shore up transparent and accountable governance, including supporting media freedom, fighting international corruption, standing with democratic reformers, promoting technology that advances democracy, and defining and defending what a fair election is. Let me give you a few examples of the kind of work this initiative will entail. A free and independent media. It's the bedrock of democracy. It's how publics stay informed and how governments are held accountable. And around the world, press freedom is under threat. So we're committing critical seed money to launch a new multilateral effort of our International Fund for Public Interest Media to sustain independent media around the world. And through our USAID, we're going to be standing up a new defamation defense fund for journalists to help protect investigative journalists against nuisance lawsuits designed to prevent them from doing their vital work around the world. We're going to launch new programs to help connect anti-corruption activities across civil society, the media, academia, labor, and protect whistleblowers and help partners eliminate money laundering and safe havens. To ensure that our democracies are strengthened by the voice of all citizens, this presidential initiative includes programs to advance women and girls in civic engagement and political leadership, empowering the LGBTQ community, individuals to participate in democratic institutions, promote labor law reform, work organizations. It includes new lines of efforts with our partners to address online harassment and abuse and reduce the potential for countries to abuse new technologies, including surveillance technologies, to suppress the rights of their people to express their views. And we'll stand up to, we're going to stand up 2 rapid response cross-cutting initiatives that support the key goals of this summit: the Fund for Democratic Renewal and the Partnership for Democracy program. It's going to allow the State Department USID to surge funds to support our partners working on democratic front lines around the world. My fellow leaders, members of civil society, activists, advocates, citizens, we stand at an inflection point in our history, in my view. The choices we make, in my view, in this moment, are going to fundamentally determine the direction our world is going to take in the coming decades. Will we allow the backward slide of rights and democracy to continue unchecked? Or will we, together, have a vision and the vision, not just a vision, the vision and courage to once more lead the march of human progress and human freedom forward? I believe we can do that, and we will, if we have faith in ourselves and in our democracies and in each other. That's what this summit is about. I'm so looking forward to a productive session and discussions that we'll have over the next 2 days. I'm looking forward to the connections we'll build to support our work moving forward. So let's get to work. Thank you all so very much for your patience.
Mr. President, thank you so much for kicking off the Summit for Democracy and pushing us to consider how we can strengthen